Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Ian from the YouTube channel comidIAN MTG. You might also know me as the co-host of the SCULPTORS podcast or your local cEDH coach and tournament grinder. If you're curious about any of that stuff, I know there will be links somewhere.
Hello, I'm the one that had the idea to have this pod. I'm just a normal person. Nothing special. No YouTube.
So today I'm bringing Necrobloom. I think this exact list might be a bit overcooked, but basically what we're doing is we're trying to force some combos. We have Gitrog, and we also have Fluctuator and Cycle Lance to basically draw a bunch of cards, mill our libraries, and assemble some sort of combo. It's kind of weird and wonky, but I think it might work out. Let's see.
Just trying to tutor chain with Sisay. Infinite combos with Dahada, Nicol Bolas, Amanatsu, Infinite Treasures with Teferi's, or Oath of Teferi. Some stacks pieces like Teferi, Time Raveler, Smothering Tithe to make some value. And a bit of counter spells, nothing too crazy. Dockside Loops as well with Emil and Derevi. Your average Sisay package.
Hey everybody, so today I am playing Korvold the Fakehurst King. It was a list I had really never played a ton of, but I brought it to a local 30-something person event and ended up winning the entire thing with it, so now I'm kind of on the deck for a little bit. I really enjoyed it. It's a good time. It's got some brand new cards that are very strong for Modern Horizons 3, such as Chthonian Nightmare and 6. Those are the ones I'm testing in the current iteration, but honestly there's a bunch of stuff from Modern Horizons that's probably going to make the cut in this deck, but these are the two that I'm trying out right now. Chthonian Nightmare is busted, 6 seems pretty cool, so we'll see what happens and have a good time.
So our first 7 isn't good. This doesn't do anything. We have a Swords and that's it. I think we actually really need mana in this deck, so yeah. A second one-lander. We're not off to a great start. Let's hope we find something playable. So this is our first hand that has any gas. Problem is that we're basically just... Okay, so we have Imp Seal. I don't even actually know what we would Imp Seal for in this hand, which is weird. Usually Imp Seal solves a lot of problems, but like the most powerful cards in the format aren't in our deck. And we don't really... I guess we could Imp Seal for Chrome Mox and go for turn 2 Necro. That's actually not that bad. I was going to say that this hand doesn't really work, but if we can go Necro a little, and then go for a hard Necro turn, there's only 2 blue decks, so we're not over-represented in blue decks. And we do have Oblivion Crown in our hand, so we just need to find a way to get Gitrog. There's some problems because we don't have our commander in play, and that's an issue. And we don't have a way to get to our commander unless we slow roll Necro. I don't know. Necro is kind of weird here. I think I'd rather have mana than a Necro, which sounds wrong because Necro kind of draws mana. I'm gonna try this hand. I think Necro might be able to solve our issues, but it might not actually help us enough. I fear that this Necro doesn't really win us turn 3. It's more like a turn 4, turn 5 win. But at the same time, that's kind of what this deck would do anyways, so I feel like we might just keep this.
All right, everybody. So I'm looking at a first 7 here, and I didn't, whatever you might think, I definitely didn't think about snapping this off because there's the gemstones in here, and I definitely did not forget that I was going first, so that would be crazy. But no, without gemstones being online, this hand is pretty unacceptable. With it being online, kind of makes for an interesting hand, or at least an interesting case study. So if I was going, ironically, second seat, this would be a lot more keepable. Unfortunately, right now, it is a pretty aggressive mulligan. So I got a dork here, which is not bad, but dork, fetch land, second dork, mana rock. Like, I can develop lands slowly, basically. Like, the dorks are sort of making up for land drops in this hand, but if I'm playing the catch-up game for the entire game, it's really not developing my own game plan at all. So, especially in a deck like this where you want to be more proactive. So I'm gonna ship this one away. Okay, this is my 6. We're looking at a turn 1 Tainted Pact with 2 land drops. Missing colors, not really doing a ton. It's literally like, do I want a Tainted Pact turn 1 for a Dockside, which I really don't think I want to be doing. So it's looking pretty rough. I don't really see a lot that could do with this. The other thing is, like, I could Tainted Pact for either Dockside or Mana Crypt, and whichever one of those I hit first, I fire off next turn. Probably, because this is a 6, be putting Diabolic to the bottom. You know, this is one of those hands that's like, I am playing a turbo deck, so maybe I should just be playing this like a turbo player. You know what? This is for camera. It's a good time, so let's do a little high value gambling. That's what these types of decks are for, right? So for me, you know, firing off Tainted Pact, seeing if I get rid of a ton of my library. Oh no, wait, I can't even get a Dockside, so it has to be a Mana Crypt. Nah, I can't keep this. What am I thinking? Man, my mulligan brain is like not sharp today. All right, we're throwing this way. It's not it. All right, this is my 5. So Carpet, obviously not online turn 1. Potential for a turn. Can't even get that turn 2 Necro unless someone miraculously plays 2 islands, which seems rather impossible. I think I still have to keep this hand, but the Necro is definitely not coming down turn 2, which I would have appreciated on a mulligan to 5. Right now, the decision is like what to put to the bottom of my library. I want the Jewel Lotus here for that early Korvold. I think we need the Carpet to get any sort of acceleration off, even though, you know, obviously there's one less blue deck than we would like at the table. Mayhem Devil, despite being an all-star in this deck, is just not good this early in the game, I think. So for me, I feel like that one, unfortunately, pays the price for the other players' sins. So we're gonna throw the Mayhem Devil to the bottom of our library. That's our mold of 5.
We have a turn 1 fish. I really like that. But that's also kind of the only thing we have. Versus these decks, I think they can play around it. Ian might be the only one actually feeding us, and I think he will with his Korvold, but I'm not going to take this chance. Besides, I kind of want to play Pako and smash people. So we're gonna mulligan in the end. No lands, we're gonna mulligan again. This is fine. It's not perfect, but it's fine. The big reason why it's fine is that we have a pretty okay Pako guaranteed. I do like Lionside Diamond, and I'm not super unhappy with tossing my entire hand for a very early Pako. Like this is at Pako turn 2, and then being Hellbent, which isn't great. We could literally mulligan, but the key of this deck is usually to get Pako, and then you get Haldan, and then you get a lot of value, and then you usually solve things. We're tossing the Divergent to the bottom of the library. Perfect. That solved everything.
Draw a card. Sweet. All right, we're gonna go and play this Arid Mesa. Crack that right away. I'm going to grab a Taiga, I think. Then we're going to, we're gonna play a Carpet of Flowers. So fetch appropriately, I guess. And then if Carpet of Flowers is a-okay, I'm gonna play this Jewel Lotus as well. Sweet, sweet, sweet. We are all good on my end.
Upkeep and draw. I will play a Tundra as my first land of the turn. I will tap Tundra for a Soul Ring, and then Soul Ring into a Thought Vessel. I will pass turn after that.
Take my turn. I will play a Command Tower as land of turn. I'll tap it to cast a Imp Seal. While I'm happy about drawing the Chromox, which was gonna be my Imp Seal targets, I no longer know what I want to find. Because we already have the turn 2 Necrobloom. We could find the Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt is never wrong. It's always nice to have. And that kinda helps us with solving the mana issue that we might have otherwise. I'm also thinking about maybe trying to find Gitrog, but that kinda shuts down us being able to entomb Shadowgrave for Gitrog with the Necrobloom. I think we might just go for Shadowgrave, but that's really greedy because we don't have a way to actually get to our commander. All in all, I think just finding mana here is our best choice, so I'm gonna just find a Mana Crypt, put it on top, and then we're passing the turn.
Draw a card. I'm gonna play a Prismatic Vista, sacrifice that, finding a Forest to Ian's sad news, and then play a Lion's Eye Diamond, and then pass.
We're gonna go for a little untap. We'll draw a card. Lovely. We will target our lovely friend here in turn 2 and make a black mana floating. I'm gonna play a Blood Crypt, losing 2 life. Then we have some decisions to make. I think, honestly, everyone's probably just gonna play around the Carpet. So let's just get the dragon out. I'm gonna crack J-Lo, use the floating black mana and the red here from this Blood Crypt, floating Jewel Lotus for 3 green, try and play myself a Korvold. Coolio. I think we're just gonna sack this Blood Crypt. Put a little counter on my friend Korvold here, and draw a card. Second the Carpet. Yeah, my bad. That was a very awkward draw. We're gonna cast this gamble here. I'm just kind of sending a Dockside here, right? Like, I think this board state is, I might only make it 1 or 2 here. There's a chance I pitch the Dockside, and if that's the case, then I'm in a bit of an awkward position, but it's really the only way I'm getting Necropotence down on the battlefield, and so I think I'm just gonna grab the little goblin guy, jam it, and then see what happens next turn. I think something really gonna keep me ahead of this game. All right, we're going for it. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's just not the best card to discard, not gonna lie. Got rid of my Necropotence, but that's a ship on my turn.
Draw for turn. Unfortunately, I did not get the land that I was looking for. I will tap for 4 mana. I will cast the One Ring. I've heard some good things about it. I will tap it and draw 1 card. And I will play a land, a Temple of Deceit, and I will scry 1. I will keep that on top. Passing turn.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be a Bayou. I'll cast a Chromox. Chromox will imprint a Assassin's Trophy, and then I'll tap 3 for a Necropotence.
I pass.
Necro resolves. With Necro play, I'll cast a Mana Crypt. I just wish my deck could capitalize on this. Imagine any other deck. With Mana Crypt in play, I'll activate Necro for 9. Then I would like to move to my end step and get those cards in my hand. And then I'm moving to clean up. Discarding a Wishclaw Talisman, a Eternal Witness, and a Boromir. Go ahead, Moss.
My turn, draw a card. We're gonna play Polluted Delta. There's already an island in play, finding Volcanic, and we're doing it. We're sacrificing the Lion's Eye Diamond. The only card I'm kind of sad and losing here is Heuristic Study, and then a counterspell, basically. And one of the potential win cons. However, this means Pako. So we really need to top deck a land next turn to get our Haldan, and then we're golden. But for now, we're gonna accumulate futuristic potential value. So we're going to combat. Pontus, I'm attacking you with Pako because you have a Necropotence in play. I'm going to exile a Fellwar Stone.
Exiling a Mana Crypt. Ouch.
Exiling off the top, a Derevi.
Nice.
And for me, exile a Archdruid Charm.
Uh-oh.
That's a very good Pako hit. Now we just need a land so I can play Commander and be happy. Well, there was a creature, so it's a 6/6 coming at you, Pontus.
No blocks, take 6.
And then I pass.
Draw for turn. Gonna play a City of Traders. Ooh. Gonna tap 1, 2 with a colorless floating to play a Dockside Extortionist.
Well, I'm not feeding it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. We're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Float a black mana and draw a card with Korvold. Black mana did not help me out here, so let's do it again. We're gonna crack a treasure, floating a red mana this time. Draw a card, put a counter on Korvold. Not cooking here, so let's do it again and draw. Okay, all right, that's something. Yeah, we'll take that colorless floating and cast a Diabolic Intent with the additional cost of sacrificing this here Dockside. The Korvold trigger, I will get a counter. Lovely. All right, let's. It's not always a clean, hard win, but it's definitely something going on here for sure. I do have 3 treasures still remaining, huh? Yeah, maybe we just keep it clean and easy. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get this card. Boom. We're gonna crack another one of these treasures. Go and draw a card here. This time we're floating a green mana. Ooh, that draw kind of changed things. So let's make it a little bit safer for myself. We're gonna go down another treasure here, add another counter, draw a card. That's another green. And we're gonna go with 1, 2, 3, 4 mana to Invasion of Ikoria, X=2, trying to bring that Dockside back out of my graveyard. Pontus, you can defend my invasion. I'll bring that Dockside back. Then we got an ETB in the stack, and I make another 6 treasures. Make a green, add a counter to Korvold, draw a card. 1 land here, so use that, and the 2 green floating. I'm just gonna play one of them old-fashioned food chains. Yeah, I got Squee right here in my hand. Yeah, so what's gonna happen is I'll probably exile the Korvold just to make it a little bit easier in case we need the Dockside for some reason. But yeah, I'll be able to exile, make a bunch of mana for creatures, use some of that mana to replay Squee. Squee has the lovely ability where it can be cast from exile, so I'll be able to net infinite creature mana by going through these 2 cards, and I will be able to cast Korvold an infinite number of times. So then I will transition from just casting Squee over and over again to casting Squee, casting Korvold with the Enter the Battlefield trigger on the on the stack, I will sack Squee to Korvold's ETB, and I'll draw a card. I'll then exile Korvold again, recast Squee, do that over and over again until I draw through majority of my deck. From that point, it's easiest just to probably get like a Mayhem Devil out and assemble the Ruthless Technomancer line. That way I'm just manually dealing 1 damage to each of my opponents. Now there is a 1 ring in play, so technically there is a window in which I would want to basically set up this combo so that I could do it on the upkeep of Bill, which is one of the easier ways to do it. You know, this is actually one of those rare matches where nobody is playing a Thassa's Oracle, right? So I wouldn't be able to Praetor's Grasp any of my opponents to make that part a little easier. But yeah, setting up multiple instant speed combos with the ability to have things like Veil and Autumn's Veil and Veil of Summer as backup would probably be the easiest way to go through this process. What's going to happen is the treasures created, I'll use 2 of those treasures, sack to Mayhem Devil to ping the dockside itself, which will put it back in the graveyard. Then use the excess treasures to pay 4 into the Technomancer, sacking 3 of them and 1 treasure to reanimate the dockside. Therefore, the excess treasures that we're using for that reanimation ability, I will point at my opponent's faces, creating a loop there where I'm just dealing infinite damage over and over again. And this is one that can be executed at instant speed. Good game, everybody.
Split second, return target permanent to its owner's hand. So if it had gotten to my turn, I would have been able to respond, but lack of mana made it so I could not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, that was your turn too. You usually, like, tapping out for the 1 ring on turn 2 is...
Yeah.
It feels like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where I think, you know, we're seeing a bit of an uptick with decks like Korvold and Rogsai and stuff like that, because what they're doing is they're closing in on that window that if we're, quote, in this mid-range hell, as everyone's describing, right, they're taking advantage of that window and being able to capitalize upon it really quickly, right? Like, I didn't really have that. Like, I had 3 lands for the entirety of that game, right? But 3 lands plus a commander out pretty early turns out can turn the window or turn the corner really quickly in a game like this.
This actually brings up a perfect other opportunity to talk about something completely different. You just mentioned we are currently in a mid-range hell. And this is kind of outside what this video is. This is a gameplay video. We're here to talk about what happened in this game. But for those that don't know, I have another YouTube channel where I calculate statistics. And according to my findings, we are not in a mid-range hell. So we are kind of... I'm seeing that focusing down on turbo is usually getting a better win rate compared to focusing down on mid-range. That's my observation, so to say. So I think you're correct in that regard, that like if you can sneak in a win like this, where someone taps out for the 1 ring, I'm still saying that tapping out the 1 ring is still okay, but that that really works. That's a good aim.
Yeah, I definitely was committed to that when I cast the 1 ring tapping out, so I wouldn't really have any responses, anyways.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 blue decks in the pod, and neither of them are that counterspell heavy, which just means the window is even more open.
Right. And the crazy part is, like, Pontus, you went to jam your WinCon there, but like at the same time, you know, it's you're setting yourself up to be in that position where it is, you know, you have to take out your deck almost as quickly as you have to take out mine, right? So it sort of left a window there, but I think unfortunately relying on the LED hand sort of took out one of the blue decks on the table, right? And that's it does tend to be a little tougher, right? Because Pako Haldan is a deck that will struggle those first couple turns, but as soon as Pako gets down and starts putting on pressure, I mean, any sort of responsibility from the table means Pako gets there eventually.
Yeah. I mean, the plan was to basically gamble on having Haldan turn 2 and then have a beautiful game. That's it for us. That was a pretty fast match, but cEDH is fast and potential. But don't forget to take a look at cEDH or comidIAN and also the Mind Sculptors podcast in the description below of this video. Take care, guys. See you next time.
Bye.